Okay, in this module we're going to talk about, notice I haven't got a hat on, and no glasses. In this module we're going to talk about picture framing. And there's a lot of different ways to do picture frames and mounting and putting other little things with them. And where do you get them? Well, a lot of places, sometimes I go to, usually I make them myself, the frames. I use the wood and the foam and all the other things that go along with that. This is basically, I'm not going to make one in this video because all of the techniques that and I'll explain them as I show you some of the ones that I've done. All of the techniques you've already seen in other modules. Now, here is one that I picked up at a store. It's just a very big, heavy frame. And it's actually quite light. It's probably made out of balsa wood or boxwood or something that's relatively simple. And anyway, when you do it, you don't want to put anything back in here because this is where the picture and the glass goes, okay? You can put whatever photo you want in here. I haven't painted it yet. I don't know what color I'm going to paint it yet. But this thing was really, really beat up bad. And I actually had to go back in and actually make the corners again. Corners were busted off. It was really bad shape. That's one way to get some frames if you find something unusual, okay? Now, here's a frame that I made. This is done with foam. It's just foam. There is no wood back to this. You'll notice up here, there is a little metal washer. That's so that when you hang it, the nail doesn't damage the foam. This one is just a very straightforward, run-of-the-mill one. It's been sprayed with clear coat, 3 coats. The one thing that you have to remember when doing these is that before you mount the picture, after you have printed the picture, you have to spray the picture itself on just the paper with clear coat. You need 1 decent coat or 2 light coats. The reason for that being is that eventually it's going to happen. Believe me, it's happened to me many times. While you're painting, you'll get a little piece of paint on the picture or whatever. If you don't spray it, that picture is ruined. You can't get it off because the ink is also water soluble, even the archive ink on a laser jet, or not laser jet, but laser jets too, on an inkjet printer. If you try to wipe it off with water or something like that, or even with a Q-tip, you're going to smear the ink and the picture's ruined. So spray the picture first. Spray the picture first. I can't stress that enough. If you don't, you're going to ruin pictures, and then you're back to square one, okay? That's one. Now, there's other ways of doing it. Here's one. This one is also no wood on the back. It's got the little hole there. This one has a gutter, what I call gutters, or you can call them anything you want. I just happen to call them gutters. What this has done is, after you put everything on there, and this is where you also have to spray the picture, okay? You put all the liquid, you put the plastic wood all the way around it, and on here, everything done. You leave this blank with no plastic wood, it's just the raw foam, and then you use the acetone like I showed you in the 3D art, and you spray acetone on here, okay? Burn it down to where you want. Because this has clear coat on it, it won't damage the picture, it won't damage the plastic wood, okay? Then you can go ahead and paint it whatever you want to do to it, okay? That's another way of doing them. Now, you can do a 3D, really 3D, like this one. These are all pictures that hang in my house. These are not for sale. Like that, okay? That's pretty cool. I like this one. And of course, penguins and polar bears don't live together, obviously. The reason for this one is the extreme North Pole and the extreme South Pole, okay? North and South. That's why this one is the way it is, okay? That's another way of doing them. All I really did here was cut out a piece of foam to look like this, the square one. I glued that foam to this one. I then covered the whole thing with I glued the pictures down, and then covered the whole thing with plastic wood and painted it. And that was all there is to that one. Okay. Here's another one. This one is old and beat up. This one's been in the closet for I don't know how long. I've got to touch this one up so I can rehang it. Looks like that. Okay, you can put little decorations over here at the side. Same thing. Cover everything with plastic wood. Outline what you want over here with a pen of some kind, and then leave that open, and then just spray the acetone on it. It will melt that. This one is made like that on the back, because this one is a little bit heavier, and I put these on there so that when it goes into the wall, it sticks out. Okay. This one does not sit flush. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Get after it, little girl. Okay. Then we have a really big one here. This one has wood on the back, as you can see. These mountain lions that you see here actually live on property that my family owns in Colorado. And they live right on the same piece of land that we own, and it's a rather large piece of land. We have a cabin there now. And this was taken long before we ever built the cabin. We were up there messing around one day. I had a camera with me, which I always do. And they came down and looked at and were watching us from probably 100 yards away. And I took the pictures. Okay. That's another way of doing them. You can notice here too that you have the gutter, and you can put on there what you want. Oh, it's really dusty. Wow, it's been hanging on the wall for a long time. I should clean them all up. Nice thing about these too is that once you have them all done and they're clear coated, you can just take them into the bathroom, put them under the shower, hose them off, dry them off, and put them back up on the wall. Can't do that with a regular frame. Okay, now there's other ways of doing them. You can do them standing up like that with a base. Okay, this one's done in pearl white. That's a picture of Mad Max. This swan was crazy. He was in Switzerland, and he even had his own road sign. It showed a swan chasing a car, because Mad Max would chase cars. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe being territorial or whatever. But Mad Max was really crazy. He would come up, and there was a little outdoor cafe. It was a hotel and an outdoor patio with a lot of tables on it. And he would come right up off the water, walk up to the tables and beg from you. If you didn't give him anything, he'd snap at you and hiss, and good old Mad Max. Okay, there's another way of doing them. This one is just an experiment to see if it would work. It does. You can make them any way you want. I probably should have put a buffalo or something on here because of the horns, but it was, like I say, it was just an experiment to see if it works, and it does. So there you go. There's a black and white tiger. Now, here is a problem that you run into if you do not use liquid lead on your gutters. See this one? Now, I don't know if you can actually see it, but probably not at this length. But if I bring it up here, look right down here in this corner, and you will see that after it was painted, the acetone kept burning, and it burned right through. Well, it wasn't actually the acetone, it was the clear coat, because the clear coat is an oil-based paint, and it burned right through the paint and into the, I'm going to bring it up closer so you can see it. It burned right through the paint and into the foam. Can you see that there? So you got to be careful that you make sure that you put enough liquid lead on there to keep that from happening, because essentially this one's ruined. The only thing I can do is go back in there and paint it and hope that I've hit enough paint on there. And there's 5 or 6 places around it, but that's the main one. Now, okay. There's one other one that I've got here that I saved till last, the best for last. This type of one you can make a heck of a lot of money off of because of the way it's done. There we go. Okay. You have the initials. These are wood letters that you can buy in any craft store. You stick those down before you ever spray it with the acetone. Put everything else around it. The reason why these are why it's the best one to do is because I used to do these for Little League teams, and basketball teams, kids, you know, and you go out there and you sell them, and you put a picture of the player on here, the kid. You put his name over here or his initials. You can make them actually larger too. I did one that had the team picture, then it had a picture of him, and then down below here it had this, the same width with his name on it. You can show their batting average. You can do all kinds of things with this. Okay? These, I have sold a lot of these. This was an old girlfriend. Anyway, this one was actually done in 2013. It has no wood back. It's just the foam. These were done with the kind of foam that you can't buy anymore. In fact, you can't buy it at all. You never could. It's aircraft foam, and I had to make these in forms and spray it in. This was a long time ago. This was, what, 4 years ago. Anyway, figure out ways of doing these things. You can do them with cars. You can do them with any kind of meetings or clubs or virtually anything you want. I even did them for a motorcycle club. I don't want to use the word gang because they really weren't. You can do them for graduations, all kinds of things. I mean, there's no end to what you can do with these, okay? And they don't take that long. These, on this size, I sold these for 25 bucks a piece. You've got like 15, 16 kids on a team. Times 25, you're making $400 on these, and you can do them all. Because you set up a assembly line, you can do them all in less than a week. Now you do the larger ones that take actually no more time, maybe a day longer, and for those I would get sending anywhere from $40 to $60, depending on how many photographs. They have to furnish the photographs. You scan the photograph into a scanner, you print it out on photographic paper, put it down, boom. There's a ton of money to be made doing these. Anyway, okay. Well, that's about it for that, and this is the last module I'm going to do. I was going to do one on boxes and one on sculpture, but what I'm going to do is a summary. It's going to take me a while to post that one because I've got to go through all the stuff. There's going to be boxes on there. There's going to be sculpture, and I'm going to show you a bunch of the pieces that you've seen here that are not finished yet, and I'll show you some of those. And that will pretty well do it. So I don't guess I have anything more around here. I'm looking down on the floor. I think I've showed you everything that I had as far as the framing goes. The framing, you can do all kinds of things. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I've made some that were 24 by 36. Now, if you're going to do one that large, what you want to do is take it to a place that can print one that large and have them mount it. Tell them to mount it, and they have a foam core board it has adhesive on it, and it's kind of heat sensitive, and they just put the picture on top of that and they roll it through, and it makes it really, really, really adhere to the thing, and then you just mount the whole foam core board on whatever you're going to do. Okay. If you don't, sometimes, I'm trying to think if I've got one here that has that on it. Well, a couple of them. If you've seen some little wrinkles in there, it's because those have started to separate, even though I used photo mount. If you get one little place that has a little bit less than other places, that's going to happen. Nothing you can do about it. These are pictures that hang in my house. They're not for sale, so I don't really worry too much about it. Anyway, I guess that's it, and we will see you later. I hope you enjoyed this whole series. Remember plaid paint and the liquid lead. They both come from the same place. Remember where to buy your foam core, or your foam and your plastic wood. I get the plastic wood at Walmart because I can buy it cheaper there. Sometimes I even order it online and I buy a lot of it there. It just depends. The liquid lead you have to buy from, you rarely find it in some of the stores anymore, but you can buy it right from Plaid online. Just type in plaid.com, boom, up it comes. And then look under the gallery glass heading or section and you'll find it there. Okay? There's a gold and a silver, but they come in really little small jars, and you have to buy a lot of them to be able to do anything. So all I do now is I just paint, okay, after I lay on the wood or the liquid vinyl. Okay, I guess that's about it. I can't think of anything else to talk about here. I'll get everything together and we'll go ahead and do the summary one. That's going to be a while down the road. These will get posted, and that one's going to be a couple, 3 weeks away because I just got too many things to get done. Okay. Anyway, thanks for the attention. Subscribe and tell your friends about it if they're interested in this kind of a thing. Now, and the reason I brought all this stuff on is because, and they're called experimental because that's what they are. All of this, everything that you've seen that I've done here started out as an experiment. Now, I'm just showing you the basics. I'm too old now to do anything more. I don't have the physical strength or the stamina to do any more of this. The little things like the cozies and the keychains and that, yeah, I still do those every now and then. But take what you've learned here and advance it far beyond anything I ever imagined, okay? Try it. I mean, you'd be surprised what you can come up with. It's just a matter of thinking outside the box, okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.